Bam!
See, there we go. All right. So we weren't recording to begin with, but now we're recording. All right. So there goes 10 minutes of our life. Thanks. So what do you want to talk about today?
Can I tell you right now?
All right. All right, Dad. So hit Control. All right. Control and then Alt together. Yeah. And then delete. No. All together. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Here's our 3-minute clip. And on my screen, this doesn't seem too bad.
I can't hear a damn thing.
I'm not wearing the same shirt. It's a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. I'm talking about something I must be really interested in.
We should record while talking in the background, so it sounds like there's more people on.
Just play like repeating clips of us speaking to each other in the background. I'm not sure.
Mathematically, that's an addition.
I can't hear anything, so for me, it's just you know.
You can't hear the audio?
No, it's two white men talking about trading in Nazi paraphernalia. That's what it could be anything. Could be anything. We could be soliciting each other for sexual favors. We could be trading, pelts. I don't know.
So I can't share that audio?
I've never done video on this thing. Never shared a video. Oh, so go to share screen and then go to advanced. What's the folder that says children? What's in that?
No, listener, that's not on anywhere. He's made that up.
No. Dad, hit escape. Okay, hit escape, hold escape, and then hit alt. All right? No. At the same time, just go to start. Yeah, that's it. There we go.
Oh.
What's it saying? What's the error?
It's exceeds maximum allowed resolution.
Okay, here's what I want you to do.
File.
Here's what I want you to do. Go into garbage juice, log into garbage juice pod, and just drag it into the drive. Let me see if I can share a video. I've never done it before, so I don't even know. Can you hear that?
No.
Not having fun, just fucking waste of time.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do anything.
Do you hear it now?
I hear it now. Kind of, we got it. Authentically entertaining for at least us.
At least to us. It's got to be entertaining for us.
If nobody else.
Nobody else could find it entertaining. No one else could care. But if I'm having fun, you're having fun, that's all that matters.
I think that we do have enough things to talk about and enough things to say that.
Yeah, so I wanted to start off talking about the Jews. I really don't like them, and I wanted to really start off, talking about them. And
this is how we'll get. This is how we'll get our following.
This is how we're going to start. Yeah.
And anti-Semitics.
Mm-hmm.
Talking
don't like them
about us.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Shakshuka and Grits.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
Oh, it's
crossover.
Is this something you came up with already?
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly thinking about things that
I know you're thinking about 1,000 things. So you're going to share something with me. I'm not seeing anything on your screen.
Yeah, you're right, because I'm looking around my screen to share screen. Where's that button?
So just move your mouse
Mm-hmm.
to the bottom, and it should like the window should just pop up with share screen. There should be a big green button that just says share.
Ah, I see it now. Yeah. Oh man, so you're stuck with someone that's partially
Hey, it's all right. You just have baby boomer tendencies. It's fine.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
That's nice. That's nice.
So we can keep that format going for indefinitely, where I'm just
forever
struggling for 5 minutes to log in, and you're just you're patiently trying to get me through it, but also further and further doubting your own decisions.
Yeah. How did I get here? Why don't I have my own island? You know, where I just don't have to be bothered, right? That's like the ultimate end of that line of thinking. But
yeah, you'd be better off with someone with better equipment, better skills, spicier takes.
Ooh, yeah, better looking, funnier. It's just more talented in general.
A higher body count. That's what the kids call your sex number. How many people you've made sex with?
Well, both that kills and sexual partners.
Yeah, I mean, all around just killing it. I'm just happy to be here today as a 36-year-old man going on 27, semi-employed, living my best life.
You're living the dream. You're living the dream.
Yeah, it's hard, you know.
So I guess
being
you're
in
one
society
of these
with so much of a gift.
I guess you're one of these people here. This was a Bloomberg opinion I'd shared with you earlier. Inflation stings if you earn less than $300,000.
Yeah, I mean, I like that's totally me, but like I feel like I'm on the side of the person that wrote that that article and that tweet specifically.
Don't take the bus. Don't buy in bulk. Don't buy in bulk. Buy things individually. Apparently, try lentils instead of meat. Eat the vegetables.
I was
eat your
thinking
vegetables. Eat the bugs.
Public transportation in the greater Atlanta metro area. There is about 8 million people, which is a lot. And every time I say it out loud, I go back and I look up that stat to make sure it's correct, or at least I think I do. So I'm pretty sure it's correct. So imagine 8 million people. Imagine out of those 8 million people, it would be easy to think that there's at least like 1 million people that are driving
at a single point of time.
Yeah. No, well, just as a driver, someone with a vehicle, I think 1 out of every 8 people, because it's a place where you need a vehicle.
You think it's only 1 out of 8 people has a vehicle?
Just go with me here on just a scenario that I'm thinking about while I'm driving, stuck in traffic, watching the one-way direction MARTA rail go north and south, and watching it whiz on by, as you can see it from the parts of
the highway,
south routes through town. And I'm thinking to myself, say like 1 million people in the area had a vehicle that they were paying, say, at least $500 a month for the payment itself of the vehicle and to keep it insured. Imagine that's a monthly payment where 1 million people are paying about $500. And that doesn't include gas or any type of maintenance fee that happens. So imagine talking about hundreds of millions of dollars a month, right? At what point would the development of the MARTA rail system to include the greater metro area, what dollar amount would it take to make how many months in or how many years in of that money to equal what it would take for revolutionizing the rail system here in Atlanta? I mean, is it like $1 billion project? Where
well, I can tell you how much money they're putting in it now because I was just on MARTA last month visiting you. Not a lot. I can tell you what. Not a whole lot. That's for sure.
I'm thinking if you could just put on, if there was a rail system that just connected a few more places, I wouldn't need a vehicle, is what I'm saying. And neither would a lot of my other bum neighbors and all the other losers in this loser town that I love so much that I'll never leave. Lifelong Atlantean since 2020.
So,
lifelong Braves fan.
It's like yeah. Good for you.
We're gonna
it's
get a
like
hockey team. We need a hockey team here too.
You know the scene in Dogma? You ever see that movie where
that's a good movie.
It's not even the scene, but the
again.
concept of the guys, the angels played by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who
Punks.
are cursed to live in New Jersey for the rest of eternity. Like I forget what they did. I haven't seen the movie in so long. Great movie, but that kind of reminds me of like being in Atlanta, right? I feel like New Jersey I would actually like that more than being cursed to live in Atlanta for the rest of eternity.
People say that Atlanta is like the New York of the South, but maybe that just means that it's exactly like New Jersey.
Yeah, like
if New Jersey was confound inside of a bumpkin suburban hellscape, which it kind of is, right?
Yeah, but people love Atlanta, People love Atlanta.
For the wrong reasons.
Yeah, well, it's certainly, not the public transportation isn't why people are there. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna let the listener in on a little secret. Monday night, a little place under the I-75, I-85 overpass called Club Magic is an insane experience that you will nigh forget.
Can you elaborate on what Club Magic is?
You ever seen a rap video?
I have seen a rap video.
You ever seen a music video that makes you want to pull out your ding-a-ling and just crank hard like no one's around watching, but your homies are there, so you refuse, but you think about it later, and you say to someone online later that week, how could I be racist if I just masturbated to this? And it's some banging hot black stripper.
In the music video.
Yeah. How could I be racist if I just no?
It's impossible. Yeah. It follows a logical. I get it. All right. So it's
Club Magic on Monday nights, and you might not think about Monday nights ever as a nightlife goer, but that's the night.
The people who go to Club Magic do. That's for sure.
It's just the most insane experience. You walk in there and you can barely get in because it's so crowded. And the dancers
under an overpass.
It's just near downtown, which downtown is all covered by overpass because it's a
an urban
paved hellscape. If you get into this club, you'll feel like you're in a music video. The
Are there
strippers, they're
certain
climbing these
requirements to get
poles.
in?
They're money, probably. I was there once, and I'm pretty sure it was like, it wasn't crazy, but it was like at least $25, which is like, okay, well, what am I gonna? How am I gonna give them
$25 just to
dollars?
walk into a place?
How am I gonna? Where's my money to give to the talent? And you go in there, the entire place is covered in bills. You're stepping on top of bills, but you don't want to touch anything. You're not gonna do what you think you could do. You're not gonna do that. That's not gonna work. Okay? Because there's no way that the staff isn't ready and willing to kick you out of there.
I assume everyone, it sounds like it's a very cramped environment. I assume everyone's vaccinated. They check for that before you get in.
I haven't been since.
Oh, you
since
haven't
pandemic.
been since COVID?
No,
You know, everyone with masks?
no. I
No.
waste my money on other things.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
against it. I love the idea of empowering women into positions of getting their bag
yeah,
through entertainment. That to me, that's a beautiful thing.
so you're pro simp, you know, like pro simp.
I'm simping. I'm standing. I'm in the trenches, defending them
Okay.
in their replies.
Pro simp. So you're like, listen, and just give them money. Doesn't matter at all. Just give them the money.
Take my money, hypothetically, because I don't have any.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Right.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If I had it, you better believe it. You better believe that's where that would go.
So going back to Club Magic, I don't want to leave this topic because it's I feel like there's a lot more to understand. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about the night that you had there. You know, that made such an impression.
A couple years ago, I was here in town for a work event, and I was here with some coworkers who had spent some time here, so they knew about it. So it was a group, and it was a very fun night. The group that I was with, it was a diverse group. So the image was, I mean, imagine like a beer commercial, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a spectrum of us, right?
Yeah.
Genders,
Blue collar
races,
guys. Yeah.
men and women too.
Yeah.
And then we met up with,
blue collar folks, let's say.
yeah. And so it's a combination of people from different stations that just got in to the station of Austin where I was working at the time, working and living. And so some of these people were from the West Coast. So they had friends from another group of people that were here in town, headquarters, that were also from the West Coast. So one of the guys had the great idea of renting a van, like a 16-passenger van for the 7 of us. I guess in case we picked up friends, which it was a really good idea. It worked out the best because, I mean, even a Suburban would be just cramped on that many people because it's just over the amount of people. So we just had a shit ton of room.
So you're in Atlanta driving around in a minibus.
Yeah.
With some fellow airport workers.
Yeah. So, and we're
all
like,
races, all races, colors, and creeds.
Exactly. So we're still, fairly new to each other, although some of them had history, being that they'd had overlapped on working at Seattle station and Los Angeles station. And a lot of, there's a bigger population of Islander Pacific on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, naturally.
I think the preferred nomenclature is Pacific Islander.
Yes, that's the term. Yeah, thank you. And
Islander Pacific, we might get booted off of YouTube before we even get started on this thing, Ryan.
We gave it our best shot. We got about 180 minutes in. And we're done. It was a good run.
Sorry.
So there was
gave
a
it our
group
best.
of Islander Pacific Islander, and
Pacific Islander, please. Thank you.
Pacific Islands, or
We're done.
Pacific
We're
Islanders,
done.
and they had known each other, and I was like, oh, this is great, because like anytime you go anywhere with a group, that's the best. For anyone out there listening who's ever had friends knows this. Going somewhere by yourself sucks. Going somewhere with friends whips ass. So we show up, and
But going somewhere with people you barely know is the best. Possibly.
even better. Even better,
It's
because
possibly the best.
when they're coming into it the same way you're coming into it, and it's that like, hey, work's paying for time off of work, so we can get extra fucked up tonight, because all we got to do tomorrow is just sit around in a meeting. We don't really have to do any work. And we got trashed. We went out to a nice restaurant, and then hit up a few breweries, and then late night is when we finally made it. But by that time, I love to have a good time, and I love to party, and I'm a fucking idiot most of the time, so I don't need booze to bring that out of me. But this group got pretty wild. I was one of the West Coast station Pacific Islanders smacked me in the face and said, hey, you want to fuck me tonight? You can. And I was afraid. I was shaking in my boots. I was really concerned about it. And that was the thing. We went to another.
It was a man or a woman who did
It was
this?
a woman. Strong, powerful woman. And
I can hear the slap.
Before we get to Club Magic, we went to the Pony or something. It's another one here, because there's a good amount. It's kind of like Tampa, where it's got a lot of strip clubs.
Yeah. Ybor City, baby.
And she was kicked out for smacking cheeks.
Okay.
The dancers. So we didn't stay there long, right? And then we get to Club Magic. I don't think she was even let in on the account of her hostility. But again, there was like 7 of us that then turned into like 9 of us, and half of us were wasted, falling down, stumbling. In the level that they took to partying that night and bringing me into their circle of trust and friendship, I'll never forget it. And yes, the Club Magic, we didn't stay long, as me and only one other guy were the only ones to actually get through to get in, and everyone else was just on their last leg, or having the police called on them, or getting in a fight somewhere in an alley. In the whole,
it was like
time.
an elimination tournament at
The whole
a certain
time.
point.
Like we went into this with the one Pacific Islander guy that worked at the Austin station, who warned us this is exactly what would happen.
But it's one of those nights where like you start off with like you said, 7 people, and then maybe a couple other join, and then you kind of like suddenly look around and it's 2:47 in the morning, and there's like 2 other people left. You don't know where anyone else went. You've heard some sirens here and there, heard some yells. You had some cash on you, that's all gone. You don't even know, you look around, you're like, okay, where the 6 other people that were with me, you don't even know where they went or gone, or if they've gone home, if they're dead. You don't even know. It sounds like one of those nights.
Yeah, it was awesome. What can I say? You're right. It was the best.
So back to taking the bus
for my birthday, that would be pretty tight. Coming up sometime in Jupe Lauderdale, wherever you're living.
Jupe Lauderdale.
Jew Lauderdale.
Where's the where's
I didn't say that for the record. I didn't say. I said
no,
shoot.
you didn't, but I did. Where's the party? Where's the when is your birthday?
March 12th every year.
Oh, it's
It done occurred. For it hath occurred upon me. Yeah, it's basically too far back to really scorch you with it for it to be any reference now.
yeah, and it's too long now for me to even say anything about it,
Mhm.
right? Like I can't say.
Might as well just think about your birthday coming up.
Yeah,
Next
my
few months.
birthday is in like 9 months, so
Which
um,
makes it perfect for
Yeah.
the show. Half the year celebrate my birthday, and then your birthday, and then the next half
is celebration.
Welcome
Well,
back to the
we kinda-
birthday pod.
we
Two
kind of
birthday
already
boys
missed your
all
birthday.
year long. What a month.
Oh, yeah. We're the birthday boys. That sounds like a Tim and Eric skit, doesn't it? Like, we're the birthday boys. Are you
We
a
do.
birthday boy?
I'm a birthday boy.
With like some weird kind of homosexual undertones, but yeah, boom, boom, boom. You don't really know. Is it a commercial? Is it like a spit? What's going on? Hey, birthday boy.
I've been watching a couple weeks ago. I like tuned from the beginning to the Tim and Eric show project, and it's definitely not as funny when I was 23 and seeing it for the first time. Fucking loved it.
Oh man.
Like,
Well, there's nothing else. There's nothing
made
else like it.
more sense to me at the time because
Well,
it
you
was,
were also on a pretty strict regimen of marijuana consumption. Like,
and I try to keep it up. I do. Thank you for mentioning that. I try to keep it up. It's
because
hard being here in a state where cannabis will get you jail time, and hung.
but Tim and Eric is the most unintelligible. Is that a word? Unintelligible. You can't interpret it, like, if you're not on a certain level.
That's where their opinion, their work, their comedy comes from a place where if you don't know who they're making fun of, then it's you. And that's what Tim Heidecker said at one point on some interview that I watched somewhere, just, combing through every bit of media that there is of him out there and leeching on to his every move.
Wasn't he in Eastbound and Down? Wasn't he like?
Yeah,
I swear he was in a
the
season
guy
of
from Wake
Eastbound
Forest,
with the Wake Forest shirt.
which is a perfect character. Guy from Wake Forest,
The Southern dad, like the Southern dad who's like trying to get his shit together. His dad paid for everything, got him into a nice school. He's big into Wake. Expensive school, but is like trying to take things seriously, but still can't too much, but has to try.
if you talk about like tropes of the Southerner,
Yeah,
Carolina checks a lot of boxes.
for sure.
The Carolinas have a very, very like easy target
it's not
on their big,
Tim.
broad forehead. But they're good people. Like, I've like always like only enjoyed hanging out with anyone that I've ever met from the Carolinas. Like, hands down. But you will find. Yeah, and he plays a bit of a cuck husband.
Yeah,
Just a total
yeah.
wife guy.
Oh, she's like a total lunatic.
And she
So I had my
definitely
testosterone
like
levels
presses
checked
on
the
him.
other day, a couple weeks ago, and they were very low, as I kind of figured they were. But the doctor
T
got me on
count.
this
So you saying?
application where it's like a deodorant. It's terrific.
Just roll it on.
Yeah, it gets me into a position mentally and hormonally to a place where I am attracted to my wife.
Before it was like I couldn't even get near him. I would wear basically nothing, and he wouldn't even look my way.
And now it's great. We're very healthy sexually, and yeah,
A
wonderful.
little too healthy.
Right. Fascinating.
April, I
Not buying
heard
it.
you're being honored. Is that true?
It's really nothing.
What is it? Tell us about it.
It's just it's this silly award because I just sold the most houses this year.
That's so amazing. That's huge. No.
I mean, it's not like she sold the most houses in the whole country. It's just in the region or at her job in this office. I think not really all the offices.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so
Big
region.
region. Big region. It's a buyer's market, though.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
Some say that the bubble's already burst and that it's going the other way too. So who knows?
Who says that?
Just the economic reports I've been reading have been talking about that. Just don't be so cocky
Okay.
with houses because it could all turn around at any moment.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
Oh my gosh, having a wife that's so successful, I mean, most men would be like, I can't handle it. I mean, I know this one would be terrible. Look at the
Yeah. No, I'll do the work. You know, clean up.
Oh, he's so supportive. I mean, really is. Yeah.
You're like a nice big bra. You are not. I shouldn't tell jokes. I'm not the jokester. He is in the house. Yeah, he doesn't.
Claiming to be the funny guy is that's so good. That's such a small, perfect detail of what a turd fucking loser would be doing.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
You know what? I can do impressions too. This is your guy's kid, the one you guys adopted. This is him. Hey, you guys don't look like my parents. You're my parents. Look, my mom and dad.
Just
Right?
delete this. Yeah, no.
We're banned. We're banned.
It,
But this was really funny. How long ago did that come out? I don't even know.
man. And I'd gone back this past like couple months and finished it, rewatching Eastbound and Down.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
talk
then
about Eastbound and Down a lot.
that got me
I think
ready
it's
into
brilliant.
season 2 of the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah,
You haven't watched that yet,
I
have you?
watched like one episode, but I think one of my kids did something and I got distracted. It always
Yeah.
happens. There's like I'm literally not capable. I don't have the ability to watch like entire things anymore like I used to.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We're still on this, by the way. I'm not going past this yet. We're
Okay.
still on this topic. Although we bounced around considerably.
Okay, bullet point number 2.
Take the
We did public transportation.
We did public transportation.
It's solved. All you got to do is just fucking build it. It's fucking solved, right? People would say, oh, instead of paying $700 fucking dollars a month.
Well, the way this article is written makes it seem like everyone makes over
Yeah.
300K. Like if you're one of the absolute
Yeah.
losers who can't get your shit together to make $300,000
Yeah.
a year, like it's like written for a niche. They're like writing it for a niche audience, you know?
Sucks because it's not even crazy to think if they're talking about a combined family income, that's not that much anymore, right? It's a lot to me, but like
It's a lot. It's a lot of money.
two incomes of 150K is more common than one 300K income, maybe.
I guess what they're saying is like that's a household income.
Or
but
like, one's like 180 and the other's 120 or something. So, but still, like, yeah, most Americans.
the average U.S. household income is $87,864.
Yeah,
So that's what, like 4 times less.
I think that was what. Yeah,
Like if you make 4 times the American household average, and it used to be way lower. Like this seems like 87 seems high, you know, like.
it
But I imagine
does.
when I imagine the average U.S. household, I imagine like 2 like a husband and wife or a couple that like are teachers and make like $43,000 a year each, you know?
Mhm.
So, all right. So if you're the average American or anything times 4 the average, if you're 4 times the average American or less, make sure to take the bus, you know?
We want
But
you on
public
that bus.
transportation is never going to be solved. I mean, that's like everyone always says, you know, it's like the auto industry and the way that cities are designed in the United States. Like there's no recourse. There's nothing to be done unless you build unless you build something in the sky or you build something underground. And I mean, they could do that in Atlanta, I guess. You can't do that here in Florida, but you could do that in Atlanta. But
Yeah.
there's just, you know,
Eminent
you would
domain, baby.
think like, yeah.
They're doing it here.
And,
They're taking there is something happening here where land is getting scooped up for some reason. I'm not positive.
probably
But
to
it
give it
still happens.
probably
People,
for the Illuminati, for the lizard people, you know. It's not for you, bud.
yeah, probably for some First Health Wellness of South Baptist Global with
Sure.
some hybrid name like George Wealth Care, or you know,
Well,
like
I was
2
thinking
words
another
into one.
place to hide children that they're trafficking from Asia, but you know, that's where politicians, you know,
We're gonna-
they
we're gonna
need
save
a
that
lot,
for-
lot of land for that.
We'll save that for our next show.
Yeah, but let's
Yeah, take
move
the
on.
bus.
Don't take the bus. Don't buy in bulk. Don't buy bulk. Well, I guess like that kind of makes sense. Like, you know, I go to Costco occasionally, and you know, some of the stuff like you don't need, most regular families don't need, you know, I don't know, the 40 case of ranch dressing. You know, like you're just not going to go through that, right? So you're going to drop what, $120 on salad dressing. Well, ranch is a pretty versatile sauce, so maybe you're going to use it. I don't want to use that as an example. I don't want to bash on ranch, but you can spend a lot of money on some shit you're never going to use eventually, you know, like especially the fruit. You go to the fruit and vegetable aisle at Costco, it's like they're just waiting for idiots in there. You know, where you're gonna buy 27 cantaloupes. They don't. What are you gonna do with them, right? So that kind of makes sense, but
You're wasting money if you don't get the 36 count, because at the 36 count, it's only 43 cents per quarter pound. So I mean, you want to be paying 96 cents per half pound later on with the suckers, buying them 1 cantaloupe at a time? I didn't think so.
But what am I going to do with all the other cantaloupes? And like, you know, they go bad, right?
You get onto TikTok and you search how to meal prep.
Oh wow,
for the
that's
week.
a good idea. That's a good idea.
Hashtag
That's a good
cantaloupe.
idea. That's a good idea. Whoever wrote this article didn't think about meal prep.
And then all you got to do is you go to the container store and then you drop $2,000 to $3,000 on fancy containers for your cabinets. And you have saved yourself over $18 on your cantaloupe for the month. Assuming that you got a family of 14 that's eating 6 to 7 pounds of cantaloupe per day.
I like the idea of the container store because I went in there recently. I'd never been in there because, you know, I was living overseas for so long, and like it's been around a while, but I was never at the stage in life where I'd ever be there. So I was looking, I kind of peeked in real quick. I was at the mall, and I saw it and I peeked in. I was like, you know, my wife is gonna really like this place. And then we went in and I was like, who in America can afford anything in this place? It's boxes and hangers and everything is jacked to the tits. It doesn't make, I was like, who in their right mind would come to this place and buy things without thinking of alternatives first? Like, hey, I could get the exact same thing from, I don't know, 100 different places for a quarter of the price they're selling. It was the most outrageous experience I've ever had at a retail store, looking at prices, just being like, this is a plastic box that you're selling for $50. Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. Hey, maybe someone can educate me on that at some point. But I'm very much anti-container store. I think that place should go up in flames.
I've seen them. I've never been in one.
They probably
They
wouldn't
have them
let
around
you
town.
in, first of all. Like they, you got listen, you gotta have some cash in the bank to walk in the container store, bro. Not everyone can just show up there, say, hey, I want to look at some containers. It's a commitment.
Well, to me, this sounds like the thing that really like dumps the coal in the fire, just ignites like that consumer part it's like a growth on all of us here in the West. We identify through the things that we purchase.
Yeah, but containers could. I understand like buying
Think
things
about
to
it.
make
You're
yourself feel good.
putting in this investment. You get this immediate like high from the purchase, from the shop, from the hunt,
Yeah, but
from the
there's
purchase.
a lot of things like
You
that.
bring it
like
home
new
and you think that
sneakers,
you've
a video
made this
game.
you've made this great situation for yourself because you're now able to confine things and have an order and control. And these are the things that like really get us off as people. It's a weird thing to put words to because our language isn't really situated for it.
I'm talking about container store. I'm talking about container store. I'm not talking about like, I get people who buy a car and it gives you like what is it, an endorphin rush. Like, oh, I got this new thing. You have this like psychological attachment to that new thing for some time that slowly wanes, and you keep trying to get that hit of buying new things. But these are containers. These are $50 containers. Like there's no like, oh wow, I feel good after buying that container. Because now it's more work because now you got to bring that thing home and now you got to organize your stuff into it. Right.
That becomes a part of the greatness to the high, is because then it gives you activities ongoing. So it adds to the feeling that you've accomplished something. And I'm just imagining myself as a parent of a child or a litter of children, that you go through your life day in and day out, needing to organize snacks for snack time, and your orange slices and your Capri Suns for halftime at the sports event. Imagine with like a lot of children, they're always wanting to steal things, take your coins and run into the alley behind the pub and trade for articles of clothing so they don't freeze in the winter.
Who are you speaking of?
Victorian children.
Oh, okay.
The grubby little thieves that run around in my yard looking for shelter in the winter months.
All right. Well, I wanted to bitch about container store, but it's done now. It's done. It's run its course. But all right. How about this? Try lentils instead of meat.
Yes. What?
If you don't.
I have a question. Question in the back. Go ahead. Yes, sir. What is a lentil? You try to sound smart. You have a question that might reveal your ignorance. What, good sir? What is a lentil? That's beans, right?
It's a wooden ship. An old wooden ship. I've never eaten them. They've always looked so gross. That's what it's like. They're like mushy, like pea things, Do you really want me to answer? I don't know what a lentil is. Do you know what a lentil is? I
No,
couldn't
the
even
lentil is
tell
the
you where they come from.
category, right?
It's a category? Isn't it legume? Isn't it a
You could be right
legume?
too. Look it up.
I don't want
I'm going
lentil
to. If you don't.
legume. A lentil is an edible legume. Look at me, knowing things.
Yeah, you got it.
Look at me, knowing things. A lentil is as a food crop, the majority comes from Canada and India. Okay, whatever. I'm not stopping to eat meat because I don't make 300K a year.
I mean, just lentils. It's just going to cover my chicken, my bacon, my hamburger. It's just going to be lentils. Is there any other specific? Does the article go into morning, noon, or night?
Lentils. No, I remember looking at the article real quick, and it was like, oh, lentils have only gone up 9% in the past year. Like that's like a reasonable increase, like compared to like, oh, it's only gone up 9% in the past year. Oh, how reasonable! How excited am I to engage in the purchase of lentils moving forward? What a sound investment. They've only gone up 9%. That was like the argument there, because I guess meat's gone up a higher percentage. This is the first step to the globalists getting us on a path to eating the bugs. It's the first step. Hey, peasant, which I'd say is probably 85% of the American population makes probably more. I'd say to be in the $300,000 a year bracket, you got to be in top 5%. I'd say top 10 to 5. So hey, 90% of the American society. So it's getting really tough out here. We would really prefer you start to eat meat substitutes. And we're going to start with lentils, and then we're going to move into crickets, and then we're going to feed you through a tube. That's the globalist agenda right there.
Yeah, working backwards. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the fast foods are already giving us plant-based options, which
you can't even get
but it's like I try to order them, and sorry, we're closed due to staffing. It's on the fucking window everywhere I go.
No one wants to work at
in my neighborhood specifically. Shit's a little scary. Like it's not
tell
just
me
fast,
about it. Tell me about it.
It's not just fast food places. I mean, it's like the biggest operations around. Like Walmart is like, this is like they've gone from not 24 hours to closing at 11 p.m. to sometimes like, no one's there. Sorry, we can't open the door. And like the gas stations are like, oh, no, we're out of gas right now. One time I went to the gas station and I put my card in, and like it didn't read my card, but it gave me $15 and then it stopped. So I was like, well, cool, because if I'm on camera here, it looks like I put my card in and I did the whole motion. It definitely was just an open pump for some reason. And they like, yeah.
So you're actually seeing the future played out because you're in a
marginalized community.
You're in a okay. Well, we can run with that, but you're seeing it ahead of everyone else. Like you're starting to see like, oh, well, we can't get gasoline because we're a marginalized community. Like the trucks certainly aren't coming here. With the gas, because they're going to the places like California where they can charge $6 a gallon, right?
I mean,
people in your hood, people in what's it called, hate that rhymes with Hateville. They're not paying $6 a gallon. I can tell you that right away.
Well, if it's on those terms about who's going to pay more, then maybe maybe all of us are in for it. But yeah, like if you're in a community, an area that's not heavily propped up with a lot of them extra fixins, the extra funding to make your community nicer.
Well, it's also just like a Walmart in my area is going to pay someone a lot more than a Walmart in your area, right?
Probably.
I don't know how those things work with like a Walmart,
Yeah.
for instance.
Well, they're gonna do what they can get away with.
I haven't noticed.
So-
Besides the rise in prices, I haven't. Obviously, there's signs that like the fast food places are hiring, but maybe you're seeing it in it's like you're seeing it accelerated. Like if you went to McDonald's right now, it's 10 o'clock. Would it even be open?
I would wait in line for an hour and a half because it's like the only one in the area. Yeah, you just like fucking shit out of luck, and like.
Wait, is it always that? Is it that way because you're in a? Has it always been that way, or is that like a recent occurrence?
And there's
COVID?
there's a term called like food deserts, right?
Right. You definitely Hateville, I'm sure, is classified as a food desert.
I live right on a strip of places, nice luncheries, because the airport's right here, and
Sure.
Delta's headquarters is right a block over, which is a complex of buildings, and it basically props up the neighborhood in the area.
Sure.
And with the loss of action and activity through the pandemic, these places around have like definitely been disrupted. So they're just surviving on whatever they can, which means that that's going to come down on the staff to make up the difference. So they're going to hope that they keep staff around, which if you're staff, you got to imagine, so I had this job and I still have this job, but now I got to do like more work because there's less people around. And, I may not have seen my aunt or uncle die from COVID or.
I don't mean to laugh at that, but you're very accurate in what you're describing.
Like, yeah, like I don't, like I'm lucky. I've never tested positive on, testing or like, dying.
Yeah, but what about COVID?
Classic Lee with his roasts. Almost completely threw me off rail. I have not been also either hung up in the ICU, but it's funny because like sometimes it takes someone to see that before they're like, you know what? COVID fucking sucks. Because it does suck for everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna pull it back for a second. So what I'm curious about is like, so there's a lot of discussion around like, I see these YouTubes, I see all this stuff where it's like this guy, he applied for like 1,000 jobs, right? And like, he didn't get a lot. He didn't do very well compared to how we were thinking he would, with the demand for workers, he applied all these things and like barely got any response. And it's like, well, are companies pretending? Is it really a labor shortage? Like what's actually going on? And I think you're in a very good position to kind of assess what's going on because a lot of the area you're in, like I said, will kind of be showing the signs of what's going on. So is it these places don't want to hire folks, or do people just don't want to work shitty jobs anymore that used to work shitty jobs?
I think that people have had a crazy stir of events that just so happened to present them with this scenario. Like, oh wait, my cousin said like fuck this shit because like it sucks, and I kind of agree with them. Is possibly a thought process happening more now than ever before. I think that there is something to that. I have recently thought about what you just said on, is this a disaster that's also going to be embellished by the people in charge for the sake of the same way a soccer player sells the injury, and then they bring out the fucking cart and the spray to cool down the cramp, and then do this whole show. And then you look at the replay, it's like, well, that elbow never connected. So they're just selling it. They're selling the injury. And it's hard to imagine that there's also none of that happening either. Because with Walmart not being open 24 hours a day, it fucking sucks for someone like me that's done most of their shopping like that at night to avoid the crowds when you're working at night. It's good opportunity to have like a little bit of advantage in a world that doesn't offer you much advantage beyond just being incredibly good looking. And having that taken away from me fucking sucks, and it feels personal. But it's also made me think, well, fuck, it's the same fucking Walmart that I walk into, and at night they were doing all of their restocking. Now whenever I walk in there, it's just always like they're attempting to restock a goddamn shelf. But instead of being maybe 3 shifts, Walmart's doing it in 2 shifts. And then all their customers, they can't go from the hours of 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. whenever they open. So what purpose? Why even fuck with the lights on?
So you're saying like, all right, so Walmart's looking at this because you have to think it's everything. I mean, it's not it kind of is personal because I'm sure they really don't like you, but it also has something to do with like. Let me put this out there. So you're saying that they kind of looked at the situation like, okay, well, we can keep this Walmart open and we have to pay people and whatever, it helps the community and we make, drives a little bit of revenue. But if we don't, and we cut the hours and we cut the shifts, we're not going to get the revenue from the 3 a.m. crowd, but it's not a lot anyway. That we'll have a better margin, we'll have a better operating margin, we'll make more profit by cutting those costs of those employees than we will of keeping it open and getting some revenue from it. And it's a simple, it's not like an epiphany, it's a simple business decision. You would think Walmart has the capacity to take a hit here and there, again, for the community. It seems that maybe they're just tired of doing that, perhaps.
Yeah. What
you get what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Do you think that's the equation that they're looking at here?
Yeah, because there
why
is
your
no
Walmart's closed now at 7:30.
There's no reason for it. Who's pushing back on how their word is about following CDC guidelines about social distance? It's like, okay.
Oh, they don't care about that. That's all.
Yeah, but they could just keep. But you're seeing companies just in these times of unperil. We're taking precautions and reducing our hours and reflecting, and you might have longer wait times and blah blah, and all these things could go on indefinitely. But that would just be at the advantage of the operation, and I think it's just a huge fucking advantage for Walmart to say, yeah, those hours that we just keep the lights on so employees can restock, and so we can have a nice presentable store to the public.
That doesn't matter at all. That doesn't matter anymore. I mean,
fucking turn me loose in a half-lit warehouse with rats and whatever, and then the only way out is 2 armed guards that collect my coin based on the weight of the product in my duffel sack. It will be no different going into the Walmarts of the future, because I see it here.
Well, I mean, frankly, in the future, Ryan, they're not going to let you anywhere near Walmart. You're
this guy, fucking.
No,
out.
You and your people, are not going to be allowed anywhere near Walmart because they're not going to be any. You're going to. It's going to be like the company store where they're just going to take it out of your pay and then send you stuff in a drone and drop it outside your door. You're going to scurry out like the rat you are, pick it up really quick. Yeah, exactly. Scurry out like the rat you are, pick it up, do a quick look around, sniff it, run back inside and just be
Sniff it,
thankful
yeah.
that just
Our
just
senses will be
thankful
enhanced in other
that you've-
ways, so you're not far off with that.
Just be thankful that you've gone to live another day, after that. And that's how it's going to be in 12 months, At some point, I don't know exactly how long, but
the new
they'll be sending your lentils, via drone, and those pneumatic chutes,
Yeah.
Thank you for your purchase, and you're like, I didn't purchase. Thank you for your purchase. I didn't purchase it. And they're shooting lentil packages in your
Your
bank
wife's
account.
name is now Targus. Shit, she can't see this. No.
So they're just, that's how it's gonna be, bro. Dystopian. So last point here, no one said this would be fun. Nobody said this would be fun.
Here's how to deal. Nobody said this would be. That's stern.
Yeah.
That is an option for how to deal. Suck it up, pussy.
So if you earn less than $300,000, don't leave your house. Don't buy anything. Eat the bugs. And say thank you. That's my interpretation of this. Am I wrong?
I think you nailed it. You got it. You rock this one. Fucking Q.
Sound effect.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
I also like the idea of dripping in transition songs as a segue.
Yeah, have fun with it.
And those
Who cares?
songs can be the catalog of our life. The songs of what I've seen now be referred to as indie sleaze.
Indie sleaze. Is that like the
What we listened to, the 387
2008 indie
playlist.
The new indie. What is indie sleaze? Let me look this up.
Yeah, do a search on indie sleaze and look at
The
what comes up.
return of indie sleaze.
That's it.
Indies. Okay.
And the funny thing is I saw it too mentioned in a post saying, I just found out that this is what I was listening to this whole time, indie sleaze, and I just found out.
Let's save this. Let's take snippets of this from. Is it like the attire? It seems like they're taking a bunch of pictures of like fucking Lindsay Lohan and who's that? Ellen. A child. Santa Gold, I know. Who's this? Sandra? I don't know. But it's all about fashion. Is this what this article? Well, maybe we can find another article that's a little better.
It was related to a music
Fashion
post, which would be, if I find the post or the article, that'd be a good chatting point.
Yeah, it would. We could go a lot on that.
Indie sleaze. It might be on Spotify. It might be a list shared.
But I'm looking at this. I'm like, none of this looks like how it looked in our time.
And that's how it works, right?
This is not indie sleaze. This is not what people wore when we were in college.
Yeah.
Certainly not this.
I mean, on the runway.
Introducing the indie sleaze wardrobe basics. Prada
Combination.
loafers, 1,300 pounds.
Fuck yeah.
The trousers,
Nothing.
leather trousers, 1,800 pounds. The sunnies, 280 pounds. There you go. Hey, there's your wardrobe, bro.
Yeah.
There's your wardrobe.
Good.
Indie sleeves is the next 2000 fashion making comeback. I mean, this shirt, definitely. This shirt, I had a shirt just like this.
Hold on, let me look. I missed it.
This guy in this type of shirt, I had this shirt. I don't know.
That's a picture of you?
No.
Yes.
Oh, is it
There,
Instagram?
man. Yeah.
Documenting the decadence of the mid-late aughts and the indie sleaze party scene that died in
Yeah, I just found it
2012.
on the playlist on Spotify.
Indie sleaze 2.0. All right, well,
Yeah, that's
Sleigh
it.
Bells, that's a good hit. I was just listening to Sleigh Bells the other day.
Yeah, and I find myself listening to this music a lot. Which, of course, I'm not connected to cutting edge release anymore.
You're not trolling trawling through Pitchfork.
Nope.
I went on that site for the first time I think 10 years, and in about 5 minutes I left. I was just, I'm so far. You get so far behind, and you're just like, listen.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some interesting new stuff out, but
yeah,
I
don't.
There's volumes of
hope.
things that I didn't listen to for the past 20 years that I can probably get into.
Yeah.
I don't know who chose this playlist. I would like to make my own indie sleaze playlist. It would not be this.
Go to Indie Sleaze playlist.
This is Indie Sleaze.
No, you're looking at a different one.
This says Indie Sleaze.
Yeah, there it is. That one.
What?
You were looking at a 2.0.
Yeah, no, I was on the. This is.
This one. This one's got the hits. Yeah, Mastercraft, all these MGMT, Block Party, Yeahs.
Have a heart. Have a heart. Yeah. Yeah. There's our girl.
This is a Grimes Stan podcast. We are pre-2014.
Here's our boys right here.
Yeah, Hot Chip fucking owns. I would fly to London just to see them.
Well, you could. I mean,
yeah,
I have anything for that.
I have
right?
approximately 10 and a half more months where I could do that for no charge.
Do they go on tour? Hey, look at that.
How about that? They're gonna be fucking here. They're coming here.
There, Hotlanta at the Tabernacle, May 3rd.
I don't even have to go to London.
I mean, it would be cool. You can. They're playing in Glasgow in June.
I can get proper shitted here, mate.
There's like all this fucking spyware in their ticketing website. Look at it. They're not even that expensive. General admission, $32.
You coming?
Dude, I might. When is that? May 3rd. Fuck, what's in May?
I'll give you a buddy pass ticket. So you can fly
What's a buddy
standby
pass?
and save a couple dollars.
No,
If you had to go somewhere last minute, hit me up. If that ever happened.
that's for sure. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But
if you planned it out, you could probably find it for pretty cheap.
so
Man,
what is
well,
it?
if Florida's, you know, people fucking love Florida, so.
Dude, I can fly Spirit for $62. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like,
That was another reason to help me like part ways as a employee, because so many people are really kept around for the free flights. And I just thought, you know what? Flights, if you look in advance, they're not that expensive.
this is May 3rd at 8 p.m. So I just need to, and I'd stay with you. So it doesn't even,
Perfect.
I can leave at 9 in the morning.
We could take the MARTA.
$62 a Spirit.
I've never been on to the Tabernacle, and that's a cool venue supposedly.
$32 for a ticket these days. What is it?
Dang, they've got a lot sold already. Or no, that's for some kind of seating level balcony.
No one's even going to this, bro.
You got to imagine people our age. What are they even fucking doing with their lives? Listener, well, I want you right now to send an email to Garbage Juice Podcast at Yahoo?
At AOL.
At AOL.
At Net, what was it called? Netscape? Was it Netscape?
We have all the handles at Garbage
Yeah, at Netscape.
At Gmail.
These fucking assholes aren't coming to Florida.
You know, people be avoiding Florida.
It's such a sink. It's such a like commitment to come down here.
Yeah.
So Hot Chip, do you want to do Florida in this tour? It's like, no, it's too much of a hassle. You know, they're just, no. Does anyone even like us in Florida? I don't think so.
As much as I would love to see Florida sink into the abyss of relativeness, I just imagine Florida's future to be pretty bright. I don't really buy into the hype that my mom's trying to sell me every time I talk to her. She tells me that everyone's moving there.
Everyone is moving to Florida. You know the numbers on that now?
She tells me it's like I don't not believe her, but everywhere I've lived, that's what the locals say about their place. It's just a bumpkin-like thing to say. Now I could be wrong. Now that there could be astronomical numbers, but there is displacement that happens. If you're in a big metropolitan area and you're in an empire that's crumbling, wouldn't it make sense to go to open territory? Or I don't know. It doesn't seem as relevant as they hype it up to be.
Growing metro areas 2022.
It's got to be all Texas.
So this is the fastest growing cities in the United States: Charlotte, Phoenix, Texas, Sarasota, that's Florida, Texas, South Kakalaki, Orlando, Austin, North Carolina, Austin. So like Florida's in there. I mean,
yeah,
there's no, so like we're getting all the New Yorkers, but like when you see Phoenix, Texas, and Texas, you know where those people are coming from?
California.
They're escaping the hell that is California.
Only to go back when they're vacationing. Isn't it funny? It's like as much as the population like fucking harping on the blue states, they only go to these places when they vacation. And they get the fucking giant festival food when they go to these places of
But this place
Holiday.
says it's Fort Myers, Lakeland. I've been to Lakeland. There's no reason to move to Lakeland. I can assure you of that. Look at all this.
Yeah.
Port St. Lucie, Fort Collins. Okay. Like they have Austin in 13th. I don't know about that.
I think it's probably pretty true. Okay. Like I'm not going to deny that Florida's getting a massive influx, but it's like everyone that's ever wanted to leave.
You know what I'm expecting to see in here that I don't see? Where's Toledo, Ohio in this list? Where's
God's country.
Where's Indianapolis, Indiana?
You know,
those are the places I'm expecting.
Before going to Boston from Austin, I thought about if I could get transferred to Detroit because I could have bought a house. You know,
you'd be perfect for Detroit.
Thank you.
I mean, you were made for Detroit.
I still hold it as a possibility that these shithole Midwest Rust Belt cities and part of Appalachia, these places that are dying, and they too are also facing the consequence of the crumbling empire. These places, there's not going to be any workaround.
Where's Gary, Indiana in this list? I'm confused. This is like the stuff my kids are gonna look at and be like, oh, hey dad, is this what it looked like when you were growing up?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, no, these people were famous and successful. I was an alcoholic with drug problems. None of the people I knew looked like this.
I mean, you could lie to them a little bit.
Yeah, I looked exactly like who's this? Glover?
Yes. Donald Glover.
That's a throwback.
Mm-hmm. That was a real thing. Our little fingers were dainty and anime-ish.
Whatever. It's coming back. The aughts, the 2000s, they're coming back. Watch out,
flat
everyone.
Circle.
Watch out, they're coming back. You know, Gen Z, Zoomers. So we have a lot of material for next show. We can talk about indie sleaze. We can talk about Zoomers. We can talk about boomers. Talk about hot chip. We can talk about more Eastbound and Down, which I believe is indie sleaze. By the way,
I'll accept.
Will you accept Eastbound and Down as indie sleaze programming?
Yes.
It was 2009 to 2000. Listen, that is the fucking heyday of indie sleaze.
Pinnacle.
So I'd say Eastbound and Down is one of the core works of visual art coming out of that time period. Obviously you throw in like The Sopranos, but like, I mean, that stuff everyone knows. I'm talking about like indie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indie.
You know, I've never seen the comparison drawn, but then again, here we are just finding out that it was called indie sleaze this whole time and we had no idea.
Yeah.
I would like to watch with you, if you haven't seen, because I haven't seen it, Fistfoot Way, Danny McBride's first major release as like the writer.
Foot Fist Way?
Yeah, Foot Fist Way, with the crew that he's been working with, the same writers, Jody Hill, and a couple other people that have stayed together and done shows.
Your weakness is disgusting to me.
Try, Mr. Sitter.
Try harder, because right now, you're sucking.
Last August, a film was slipped to Will Ferrell and Adam McKay.
Do you think y'all can handle this?
Yes, sir!
Taekwondo Taekwondo's a deadly serious killing system.
Since then, they have watched it at least 20 times.
It's the best of all martial arts.
I hear jiu-jitsu is really good for balance.
No, jiu-jitsu sucks.
They quote it.
You're just a man who is overweight and has breasts the size of a female.
They obsess over it.
You like to party? I'll give you a call.
Mr. Simmons, I really need to go practice my form.
Wow. Do you just feel that?
What?
I mean, we totally just connected right there.
And now they want to share it.
I'm noticing that a lot of y'all are just throwing single kicks and punches. What you need to be doing is following those through with some combinations. Block with the right, distracting back fist, and spin crescent kick. Got you, didn't she, Rick?
No, I was just doing what you told me to do.
I think Marge and I know different, don't we, Marge?
Yes, sir.
You come with whatever you got, full contact. I don't think you're gonna like how this ends, hotshot. She's still alive?
Oh man.
Never admit you're wrong about anything, and no one pulls that off better than Dan McBride. And I mean, you could make an argument like it's just kind of like a foolish whimsy back in the day, but as a writer and actor combo, his work is amazing, and I think it just keeps getting better.
I'm gonna turn on my VPN here for a second, just because, just for just bear with me.
Oh, we're going dark web, are we?
I'm gonna see if I have Foot Fist Way in my collection, and I need to tunnel in through my VPN to do that.
Do you have a shared collection?
Off screen. Yeah, I do actually.
That's pretty tight. I've heard of such things.
Yeah, I have a.
You got a friend that's active in the business?
No. Foot Fist Way. Foot Fist. I need to spell it right. All right. 720p, 2006. This was my first year in college. I want to watch this in the dorm, Let's see here. All right. Have that momentarily from my collection.
Hell yeah.
That I pay for legally. All of those files. So yeah, man. Good show today. We can certainly watch this. I don't think we can make that an episode, maybe clip it up a little bit, like Lee and Ryan watched The Foot Fist Way, and clip that up.
Yeah, we could talk about it after seeing it.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
We could watch it and make notes on it.
I like that idea, actually. That's a good idea. We could do that.
I would like to. I still would like to visit when I get some time coming up in the future, and we could hang out in person because that'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Because now you're a friend of mine.
What have I done? What have I done?
Go out for some beers. Fucking do some karaoke.
Yeah,
some
my
nachos.
my wife was telling me today. She's like, why don't you like see if you can get a drink with Harry? You remember Harry, right? I was like, yeah.
Okay, I see where this is going.
She's like, you used to, she was like talking about when we lived in Tel Aviv. She's like, you used to like see Elias, a friend of mine, and have coffee, and like used to go to the gym. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, like now I have to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning because my son is like a what do we call it when you can't sleep?
Insomniac toddler.
He's an insomniac toddler, and you don't wake up. So I don't know what time I'm supposed to enjoy going out and then waking up 3 hours later, you know?
Man, I miss being married.
She's like making this low key, like you don't do shit anymore and it's fucking sad. Like you're a loser with no friends, and you should talk to the only friend you have and see if, like, by the grace of God, he'll let you hang out with him for just a few moments before you have to come home for a 45-minute sleep before your son wakes up, and you have to take care of the children for the next 4 hours. So yeah, get your shit together.
You better hope that she doesn't find someone new. I mean, you really did it. You went and found yourself a beautiful French girl, and now you're only getting older. You'll become more of your heritage as you get older, with the wonderful features that entails. Great cynicism, hypochondria.
Not every Jewish person turns into Larry David. All right, let me say we're diverse people of thought and mind. Not every Jew turns into Larry David. All right, thank you, Ryan, for that.
All right, I'm going to hit record off for this next part. I'm going to say, yeah, no, you went ahead and you married way out of your league. Now you got to live with that, bro. You have a child.
I have 2 children.
You have 2 children?
Yeah, I have 2 children.
You know what? Every time I talk to someone that I know that has more than 1 children now, I don't realize that they have more than 1 children.
Where do these fucking things come from?
It's like, you know, when you combine a file, and it says you want to replace this, you want to skip it. In my memory,
you see like the
it's already
like, Lee had a kid, and you know, like it just replaces the memory you had of me having another kid previously. This is the I don't know where I found this from. The median family income for bankruptcy. Okay, for bankruptcy. So if you have 4 people in your family, you got to make more money. Okay, so if I fall behind that number, I'm fucked, basically.
Is this recent?
So yeah,
2021?
They're like relatively.
1 earner. Where is that for Georgia?
That would be here.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow. Just say also, it is tough to it's kind of tough to have a house with multiple rooms. There's technically 3 rooms in this house that I live at, but there's only 1 bathroom. So it makes like,
how many people live there with you?
It's just me, and it makes
that's scary. You live there by yourself with 3 rooms?
Yeah. So I'm in my office, and like when I moved in, it was pretty shitty, and like the windows were old and don't work. So it's like I want to have working windows, because there's some good days I can open up the windows and air this shit out. But there's so much upkeep.
My life, okay? Every single person out there is a potential new client. Y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Okay, pull them in.
What an actor.
Who's the king of the demo?
You are, Mr. Simmons.
Who?
You are, Mr. Simmons.
You're goddamn right I am.
How is this not you by now?
I know. I love everything about it because it is so. There's so much of the character that he does that is this guy that you would meet around the South.
No,
And because he's from
legit.
Carolina.
He's so real.
He's from the Carolinas, so every bit about him is this extroverted. What's the term? You gotta be like outwardly like pro your own opinions, like
like a really overconfident narcissist.
You have to be a narcissist.
Yeah, of an extremely overconfident, narcissistic loser, like straight loser.
Yeah, and you're compensating so hard because ultimately you fear that other people think something about you that you're fearing or know about your own
Danny
shortcomings.
McBride's really good at playing that type of character.
And the whole series about Eastbound and Down was like the duality of there's two shows happening. Like we talk about with Sopranos, with what David Chase did. He made two shows in one. There's the outwardly facing tough guy mob movie that every maybe Joe Rogan type alpha male brain mindset gym goer tough guy might think this is a badass tough guy mob boss movie. I relate to it because I love to drink and eat steak and talk about pussy and go to the strip club and be that type of alpha guy and be the boss. But what the real show was there doing was a public critique on the fragility of the modern Western male in a world just afraid of not knowing and not being the best and not providing and not holding up to norms in society. And that really, I think, sums up a lot of like the best parts about it because it's a critique about how like afraid these tough guys were. So much of what they were doing was just like fear-based.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of people who got taken out in that show, but
yes.
they could get any second. But I get the relationship to Eastbound and Down. But I'm super tired, dude. I'm gonna go. And scene.
All right, peace.
See you, buddy.
Have a good night.
You too.
Blast out.